You work so hard. You show up every day. You do what's expected of you. But deep down, you know the truth. One paycheck shouldn't decide how your life turns out. But what if your evenings meant progress? What if your weekends built freedom? What if your laptop became more than just a screen? This isn't about quitting your job. It's about giving yourself options. While others crawl, you start building. Quietly, consistently, and on your own terms. No pressure, no guessing. Just a clear system you can run after work, before work, or whenever life gives you a turn. That's what Goldmine on hustlesafrica.com is for.
Tuesday.
Haikuzo makasi ni watafute uongozi pamoja wasitafute.
Kweli una maana gani? Una maana wewe ni binadamu ya mavi ya kuku.
Mashamba yetu harambe.
Nguruwe kujikanga na mafuta yake, na Afrika itakwisha.
Padani agosho ngai no mwega na endesho de.
Wakati hiyo ilikuwa ukisema ngwe ndani ngwe.
Two young men lost their lives as a result of that. Families have been plunged into mourning, and the city has once again been reminded that criminal violence carries consequences, not only for its direct victims, but for society as a whole. 8 suspects arrested in connection with yesterday's violence will be arraigned in court today. Political competition must never become a license to sponsor violence or recruit young people into criminal networks. Anyone found financing, organizing, or facilitating acts of violence, directly or indirectly, will face the full consequences of the law.
So we are not going to tolerate the kind of political differences where young men are involved in settling scores, particularly among political leaders coming outside Kisumu County. You have your differences as political leaders, kindly do it in your counties. Equally encouraging the leaders visiting Kisumu, leaders who are coming for public functions in Kisumu, to always alert the security agencies. We are here to serve you. We are here to provide security, to guard.
All right. Hello there, people of the internet. My name is Uhuru Kenyatta, and this is Political Headache coming to you at 7:30 in the evening from the city of Glasses. I'm in the studio with the TikTok lawyer, Mr. Adrian Oluoch, a very influential, the youngest influential lawyer in town. You know, the body man to His Excellency Honorable Babu Owino. Are you the body man to Babu Owino?
No.
What's the meaning of body?
No.
Have you watched Prison Break?
Prison Break, yeah.
Did you watch?
Yeah, all of it.
Did you know the
Lincoln Bar.
T-bag? No, T-bag. Yeah?
The
pedophile.
Yeah. When he's in prison, do you see he's getting his pockets in and out?
Yeah.
And then Ruto ananshikia.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That is the body man.
Don't worry. I remember.
Yeah. So people of the internet, thank you very much and welcome to Political Headache in the evening. I'm in the studio with Adrian Oluoch, the lawyer, and we have got the SG of Safina Party, and also a very popular businessman in town, Mr. Joachim Smeo. Whatever business he does, I don't know. You know, do you own latrines in town? do you own latrines in town?
You see, at some point,
yeah,
I used to own several joints of Mahindi Chemusha.
Kweli?
Jesus Christ.
Mahindi Chemusha?
Yeah.
But I think mahindi
It's a good
chemsha,
business.
you are supposed to be chemshing mahindi by yourself.
No.
He's from Bungoma.
Really?
So you have one
He can own
big
us.
area,
Okay.
big kitchen in one slum, like Modurwa in this
Okay.
case.
Okay.
So you have several sufurias boiling.
Okay.
So you have people selling for you in every outlet. One in railways, railways bus station. The other one has inaitwa BS.
Yes.
The other one
Ama
in
Afya Center.
OTC. The other one at Tirum.
So you are the one, you are basically the wholesaler.
Yeah.
And you provide them with the finished product. Their job is to sell and bring all the money.
Yes.
And then you pay them per day.
Yes.
Oh, is that so?
So you have people. The only job you have to do is to wake up very early in the morning and go to the market. Then go to Gikomba and get those logs.
How do you vet the people that are selling the mahindi?
It depends with who referred them to you.
It has to be referral.
Yeah.
Because somebody can go with a whole sufuria of mahindi.
Unajua sufuria moja imebeba stock ya 3,000.
Yeah, Luftatu. And how much do they get from the Luftatu? And how long do they sell it for? Maybe a couple of hours.
A couple of hours.
How economically
Anaingia
viable it
soko
is.
6 by saa 3 saa 4 amemaliza.
Amemaliza. So probably earning 300 shillings, 10%.
300.
But does he go for another stock?
No, anarudisha masufuria yanaenda kwa nyumba.
He's exploiting the labor of poor people.
No. 300 for 2 hours is a lot.
Yeah,
What are you talking about?
It can be your part time.
It can't be 2 hours, Jagger.
No, it's 2 hours. Amesema
not 2
from
hours.
amesema from 6 to 9 amemaliza.
Yes.
Because by unajua, yes.
2 hours.
Yes. But
Yeah.
everybody
It depends also with the quality.
No, but everybody's walking into
Jesus
town.
Christ.
Everybody's
Quality.
walking into town, and they are taking some. It is done. It's done.
I
I thought they're selling it for the entire day.
No, they are not selling it. For
Kuna
them.
ina depend pia na the quality of the product you have. In this case, the reason why I used to wake up very early in the morning kwenda Modurwa kwa soko is because I want to get the best.
The best mahindi.
Yes.
Because I have always seen that some mahindis are just, dried mahindi.
Imekauka,
Yeah.
unachemshiwa hapo, mtu akikula siku mbili.
That is what we call in Luo mahanya.
Yeah.
Mahanya ni mahindi yenye imekauka alafu ikachemshwa.
Ikachemshwa. Sisi tunaita maengele in Luya.
Maengele.
So I used to do that. I diversified a little bit and used to.
But at what point did you start, pulling the cart? Is it called?
That's a long time ago before I started.
So this
Pull
is
the cart.
Yeah.
So when I
He wasn't like this.
when
In
I
fact, he's
tell,
only been like this for 2 years. So maybe it looks nice.
Don't imagine him on a cart. It does not work now.
I will share the pictures.
Okay.
When I was a trolley operator, and when I tell
You see now he's not calling it pushing the cart. He's calling it a trolley operator.
I was plying the route of. I used to own the whole Modurwa lane.
Okay.
All those stores, I was the one plying that route.
Okay. By plying meaning what?
I was the one who used to transport. So sikila mtu akona kibanda.
Yes.
Cartels.
So I know every kibanda.
Okay.
And I know everyone's muzigo.
Okay.
So I wake up in the morning, I know where every store is.
Okay.
I go to the store, bring mizigo kwa kila kibanda ya mtu. So
from the store?
Yes. So wewe ukifungua job, unaingia kwa kibanda yako, mzigo inakungoja hapo.
Inakungoja hapo.
Yes. So jioni nikikujia mzigo, you give me 50 shillings. So 25 asubuhi, 25 jioni.
For how many stores?
I used to be rich, bwana. And that's not the only area.
Okay.
Even Gikomba at around, unaona Nasiko.
Okay.
Ukipita Nasiko, the other side of Gikomba. Around there, parts of country bus, and here at railways. That's how I spotted areas ya kuweka mahindi. Survival for the fittest.
So you start with the trolley pushing.
Yes.
And then you upgrade.
Yes.
To being a landlord for maize.
Yeah, and I didn't stop. I was doing both.
Okay.
Yes.
But nani alikuwa anakuchemshia mahindi?
I had my own guy.
Anakuchemshia mahindi. And you have got your own guys that are selling.
Yeah, ladies.
Ladies? Yes. Not men? Why?
Men are not trustworthy. Watakwenda na pesa.
Men are not watakwenda na pesa.
Or not easy to manipulate.
No. It's not a matter of manipulation. And also, women are more likely to attract customers.
All right.
Than men.
So it's just positioning well.
Nikaongeza stock, nikaanza kuchamusha hadi njugu. Naona hii njugu ya maganda.
Njugu ya maganda ni njugu gani?
Naona groundnuts.
Yes.
Like hii njugu tunapeagwa hii.
Yes. The one that is coming from the soil the way it is.
Yes. So the way it is, you just wash it, then you boil it with salt. Then you take it to the market at around Mumbi House.
Mumbi House.
Yes, I had a station there. Yes.
You are very entrepreneurial, my friend. I didn't know, but you abandoned all those businesses for what reason? Why? For politics?
Sometimes the pressure, societal pressure.
Okay.
So nowadays I'm doing other clandestine businesses.
I know you have got a fleet of vehicles. People of the internet, I thank you very much and welcome to the program. Today we already have a lot of people here. Ochieng Onyango is saying hello there, people of the internet. Odhiambo and Mundalo should be on the panel for a discussion of such magnitude. Oh, you don't know what you are talking about. You don't know what these are the men. Mundalo. Okay, Newton on Jesse is saying hello there, people of the internet have tuned in. Thank you very much. Lois Baraza locked in from the United States. There is Big Daddy Cool. Hello guys, Perth, Western Australia. Thank you very much and welcome to the program.
How do you know Lois Baraza is from the US?
She has sent me money. Kevin Owaga. Hello people of the internet. Jambo, Wood County, Jagero, SG Joaquim, and Amin Adrian watching from Lusail, city of Qatar. Thank you very much. You know, Lois has always sent money here. It is coming here. We see it here on the chat. In fact, she sends from the chat.
Yeah?
She sends here on the chat.
Money.
She does not send to my mobile. Here on the chat. Anafanyanga hivi kama inateremka hivi.
Lois is a very good person.
Yes. Hello guys. That is Big Daddy. Kevin Owaga is saying, okay, Salimia King Joaquim, the SG of Safina Party. Thank you very much. Amesalimika sana.
Thank you very much.
Gideon is saying, hello people. Hello back to you. Kinga. Kinga is saying you are a convenient bipedal transport administrator. Correct. Saichiri is saying, Joaquim, you are a real entrepreneur. I salute you, sir. Thank you very much. So you want me to the story of WSR becoming from chicken selling. Hey, bwana kizungu imegajoreg. Hey, kizungu nayo. Watching from Tanzania, I wish one day our political geniuses in Tanzania and meet discuss crucial matters like this. Like you huku kwa Tanzania watu bakora nayo. Bakora kwa kichwa.
Unatoka podcast. Unapigwa.
Kuna mtu anasema tunisipotee kwa tenda Safina ikichukua serikali.
Kwa visa. We shall finance Funa's campaign. Very, very good. Thank you very much, Lois. Hello there, people of the internet. That is Mandela. Hello there, people of the internet. Jagero, where is the Amman Mundalo? But great for me, seeing Joaquim and I'm watching live from Juba, South Sudan. Okay, Noel is saying, Salamu Sana. Okay, people of the internet, we have got news coming to us just about right now that there is a poll by Infotrack that is coming out and we want to have a look at it. I want this gentleman to put it on the screen so that we can have a look at it. Once again, things are not looking good for both Joaquim and Adrian. If you look at the picture, we have the popularity of presidential aspirants. William Samoei Arap Ruto is leading by 32%. Kalonzo Musyoka follows at 13%, while Edwin Sifuna, that is Adrian Sifuna. Edwin
Without
Sifuna.
A party, without the structure,
and Dr. Fred Matiang'i are tied at 12%. Undecided voters remain significant at a big number. 18% of swing vote is right there. Okay, so again, William Ruto is at 32%, the Nilot himself. Okay, we have Kalonzo Musyoka, the Bantu. We have Edwin Sifuna, the Bantu. Okay, and then interesting is Edwin Sifuna and Fred Okengo Matiang'i are tied at 12%. Rigathi Gachagua, because he's been kicked out by the court, is at a measly 4%. We have Babu Owino polling at 3%. We have David Maraga, a measly 2%. Martha Karua, a measly 1%. And others, which is very interesting because Joaquim's Safina Party's presidential candidate.
He's others.
Yes.
You're not seeing.
A combination of...
Be very careful. Be very careful.
There's nothing wrong with that. These are just polls. We also don't agree with the polls.
Why are you telling me that's not wrong and you're the one who is laughing?
No, we don't agree with the polls. In fact, we are also surprised.
Okay.
That, oh my God.
Because George Natembeya, Eugene Wamalwa, Ndindi Nyoro, Okiya Omtatah, Ekuru Aukot, George Wajakoya, Jimmy Wanjigi, all combined to a measly 1%. so then, okay. But at least, right now they have mentioned them. Waliteta sana last time, Mr. Adrian, that you cannot just call us others. At least spell out the others.
Kuna jina Jimmy Wanjigi imeonekana hapo?
Yes, Jimmy Wanjigi is at the 1%. It is there.
No. The name.
Yes. No. The name is there.
That's very bad. How do you rate a student who didn't sit for an exam?
No, Jimmy Wanjigi is there. Others, 1% includes George Natembeya, Eugene Wamalwa, Ndindi Nyoro, Okiya Omtatah, Ekuru Aukot, George Wajakoya, and Jimmy Richard Wanjigi. It's there.
Very nice.
All right.
Very nice.
What do you think about this, Adrian? About Sifuna, polling at 12%? Because if you add Edwin Sifuna, you add Babu Owino, you add nobody else, you are at 15%. We can assume that Linda Wananchi is at 15%. Right? Yes, Linda Wananchi is at 15%.
You've combined
Babu Owino and Edwin Sifuna.
Yes, and you've also combined, there
is nobody else to combine there because hao wengine wako peke yao. Probably you can think about undecided. Unyoe hapo maybe 5% of the undecided because I think the reason a lot of people who are on the undecided are undecided because you don't have a party and basically there are crickets in your house. So so you could take 5% here. This is very interesting that if Sifuna were to, but what does that say about okay,
but even on this I never like these polls.
Yeah.
But, sometimes I would assume they have their own technical way of trying to arrive at these numbers.
Yeah.
Or adding them up. But just look at these polls.
Okay.
We have just been in the political space with Linda Wananchi for about 3 months.
Yes.
And Edwin Sifuna pictures here as the third most favorite candidate and third most popular candidate to become the next president of Kenya. Don't you think that Edwin Sifuna is a force to be reckoned with?
Yeah.
In fact, this poll does not do justice to Edwin Sifuna and the numbers and the popularity that he has. Because according to this, I know quite well that Edwin Sifuna is more popular than Kalonzo Musyoka.
Okay.
But if you look at the polls for William Ruto, the most concerning thing is, how do you acclaim that you have worked for the people and you have an approval rating of 32%? And all these people that you see here who want to vie, if you combine them, if they decide to form a coalition right now, based on this popularity index that has just come out, they would actually foster you out.
Yeah.
So people might celebrate and say William Ruto is still popular. This is not popularity. This poll shows that the president has actually failed himself. But for Edwin Sifuna, it's a good thing that we cannot have the discussions of presidential aspirants without having to have Edwin Sifuna in the picture. Today, 2 years ago, if you told someone that Edwin Sifuna would become the third most popular person 1 year to the election in 2027, it would be very unbelievable.
Yeah.
But right now here, we're talking about Edwin Sifuna being the third most popular person.
Do you think that what are you going to do at Linda Wananchi when you look at these polls and see, look, our guy is doing really, really well. Are we gonna give him a political party, throw him into the race? Because you've been looking for money from us to do your campaigns. Are you gonna be looking for more money? Because this is real now. you are going to be at the negotiating table. Should you become number 3 at the polls, then Ruto is coming back to you running and saying, look, I have Mr. Adrian as the Attorney General of the country. This is something that I'm putting on the table. Take that. And then Babu probably is already, the governor. Right?
Yes. But
Kalonzo Musyoka might also be coming to you, because if there are 2 that are going, then you become the new girl in town, right? And so Kalonzo is coming to you guys to have a broad base with you, and Ruto is also coming to you guys. Who are you going for? Are you going for Kalonzo or you're going for Ruto?
Listen.
Hypothetically.
Let me tell you one thing.
Okay.
And you always force me to veer that same path.
Okay.
This poll will not be used as a blueprint on what we want for the country.
Okay.
That is one thing that you need to know. First of all, if you look at the psychology behind these polls that have come out, Infrotract is one of the most famous, research organizations that we have in Kenya. There's a reason why they're forcing Kalonzo Musyoka to be the second most popular person that we have here.
Okay.
If you look at the discussion that has been happening online from people like Dennis Itumbi, they have always forced a certain kind of division between the united opposition and also Linda Mwananchi, such that they do not coalesce. There was a time that Dennis Itumbi tweeted or even posted on Facebook that, we are going to be having a coalition between Kalonzo Musyoka and Edwin Sifuna. People like Fred Matiang'i and Gachagua, you are not wanted by your allies in united opposition. So there's a certain psychological message that they're trying to communicate to bring up division between the allies in the united opposition. So the first thing they want to do, if you look at technically even this poll, they're putting Kalonzo Musyoka here and Edwin Sifuna third here. So they want to create a certain image that the people who should form the best coalition against Ruto right now, according to this popularity, is Kalonzo Musyoka and Edwin Sifuna.
So Kalonzo Musyoka as the presidential candidate and Edwin Sifuna as the deputy.
Either way. This is also detrimental to the united opposition, because there are also people in the united opposition who are eyeing so much to become presidential candidates. Who do we have? We have Matiang'i. And we have Matiang'i.
We have Matiang'i
and we also have Martha Karua. So what happens the moment you create that division? Now we are going to be having a faction of 3 areas.
Okay.
We're going to be having Linda Mwananchi together with one candidate from united opposition. Then the united opposition, with the only available limitless option that they have, they'll now decide to maybe have a presidential candidate, maybe Fred Matiang'i and maybe Rigathi Gachagua deputizing. So they want as many options as possible of people who can vie for presidential elections, so that it does not come to a point whereby we are having all these people, Kalonzo Musyoka, Edwin Sifuna, Fred Matiang'i, Rigathi, Babu, all these people coming together. And even if you do the numbers, they'd be more popular than the 32% that Ruto has. So
okay. Can you add them for me then? Because if you do 24 plus 13, that is 37.
That is 37 already.
37. If you add to Rigathi Gachagua, that is 40. If you write Babu Owino, which is 3%, that is 43. And then we go to the undecided down here. This undecided down here, you can actually take 10% of it. You climb to 53.
Yes.
And you take the government on the first attempt.
Yeah, so they don't want that discussion.
And Ruto goes to Sugoi.
So they don't want that discussion. They want that discussion of having only these 2 members here. But I have a problem with Kalonzo. A very, very big problem.
Okay, what is your problem with Kalonzo?
I feel like the government is very comfortable with a presidential candidate like Kalonzo, rather than a presidential candidate like Sifuna.
Okay.
Because of his radical stance and and his revolutionary positions on how he wants this government out. The biggest headache for this government right now is to find an opposition that is ready to concede. And the reason why people were so comfortable with Baba, despite the power that he held in the political space in Kenya, is that he was someone who was easily able to concede. He was very predictable.
Yeah.
That despite the fact that we will rig the elections and he will still just go to the court, hold demonstrations, and prepare for the next election, and come up with a handshake after that.
Okay.
So the problem is that Baba has left. So that predictability with the opposition is not there. So the only suited person who can take up, a weak person, who can take up that position of Baba, of someone who can be able to concede or just go to court or rush to court when his election votes are stolen, is someone like Kalonzo Musyoka.
I don't think Kalonzo even goes to court if he loses.
Yes, in
he
fact,
he just goes and walks his dogs.
In
right?
fact, what will happen? He'll just go to his farm in Kitui, in Ukambani. So they want a presidential candidate
who is not going to be causing fracas after the fact.
After the fact, because I know quite well. Today, if we have Edwin Sifuna as a presidential candidate, and his votes are stolen, Sifuna will not sit down and cry about going to court. Sifuna will call for citizens to make sure that the government is accountable. Unaweza jijazia hiyo. But if we have a presidential candidate like Kalonzo Musyoka, we know quite well that it is very easy to steal from this individual, and we know that the moment his votes are stolen, the first thing we'll do is just run to his farm in Kitui. So there is a certain preference that this government wants for Kalonzo to be fronted as the most favorite candidate in 2027. And that is
but they also don't have a problem with Matiang'i also trying to pull away and be a third force or fourth.
You see, that is the thing. And that is why I have a problem with Kalonzo. I don't want these weak presidential candidates who watch as their votes are stolen and only rush to courts when they know very well that these people who stole the election from them also own the means of appeal in those judicial courts.
You want somebody who's going to you want somebody who's
ready to take power when you know quite well that the electoral process was manipulated. That is a right for your constitution.
And they are not going to court. We are going to stage to have us to put a stage on the streets and say,
we will
look,
not go to court when we know very well that our courts are already prejudiced, our courts are already corrupted. That is in future. And there is nothing more catastrophic for Kenyans right now when you let William Ruto slide so easily with such a very monumental thing like stealing elections and wait for another 5 years of this bad governance.
They keep saying that stealing elections is very difficult. They keep saying election stealing is very, very difficult.
Who keeps saying that?
A lot of people keep saying.
And nobody has ever said it's easy.
Yes.
So who are they arguing with?
Come see, come so.
Yeah. So, but what do you think? Election stealing is still possible? Presidential election? Because if it was possible, then Ruto would not be going all over the place.
Election, it depends with the greed of the person who wants the seat.
Okay.
So the higher the greed, the higher the chances of election rigging. And we can see the greed in the eyes of these people defending William Ruto. Yeah, you can see
the desperation.
You mean the 10 million? Money is flowing, my brothers. Money
is flowing, and some people have been put in a corner they've never been. And therefore they are willing to pay everything they have to retain that seat. Actually, it makes them angry when they imagine that they are going to lose an election.
But
I remember today, I saw somewhere, Nimrod Mbai, saying that he better dies or go to jail than go back to his children and tell them he has lost an election.
What is he? Is he an MP?
Yes, he's a member of parliament. I don't know which constituency. Members of and if that's what he's saying, then that if he loses election, he better dies. Then rest in peace, Nimrod Mbai.
You know something that is very interesting, and I want you guys to remind me if I'm wrong. Throughout the campaign of William Ruto, he never talked about his votes getting stolen. He never talked about it.
None.
Ruto.
When he was campaigning.
Yeah, he never said that. He never even gave a hint that his votes might be stolen.
There is no need to talk about it.
There's no significance when you've already won. No, very little significance for you to talk about your votes being stolen. Yeah. But we had a certain hint by William Ruto who said that there were people who planned to overturn his win.
Okay.
That is where the feud came up with people.
But there is a day he said that even if Raila chose Oburu to be the chairman of IEBC, he will still win. You remember that time?
But what do you think about this poll? I see your party leader is there, Jimmy Richard Wanjigi. What do you think about this poll?
But wait, before you even say something.
Okay.
You know, when we are talking about Jimmy, sometimes we don't say it sarcastically. or to even say that Jimmy is not even capable of becoming a president. Absolutely not.
Okay.
In fact, Jimmy has a very good approval by so many people. But the problem is, why do you think he's getting this approval rating?
The bad ones.
This 1%.
He's not getting 1%. Wanjigi's own is under 1%.
Yes, that under 1%. Why do you think he's getting it? It's because he has failed to hold rallies. He has failed to gain that popularity with the people. It's not that he doesn't even have the capacity. He's one of the wealthiest individuals that we have in this country, even more than our own presidential candidate in Linda Mwangi.
When the history of Jimmy Wanjigi is written, they will have to tell us why Jimmy wanted to run for president in 2027.
Has just deliberately, I don't know if it's deliberate, or maybe at this point he has decided not to, use anything to gain that popularity. He's comfortable with the idea of, just technical speaking of issues, maybe TV, radio, town hall, and that is it. And I think Sifuna should tell us, Simiyu should tell us how comes, why.
They're a bit, even this man is a bit dodgy with what their plan is. It's a bit, because...
No, they have a plan. In fact, you keep telling us what is your manifesto. They have a manifesto. They have a plan. They already have a party. They have all those things. But why is it that they've deliberately just decided,
Why do you think that is the case? Why have they deliberately decided to be in the shadows? Yeah, they are too much in the shadows.
I'm not best suited to answer that question because I've also asked that question so many times.
For me, I don't know whether I can. I don't know what I see, but I think that I think Jimmy Wanjigi sort of do not feel like he's capable. I don't feel like he's capable, and I think I don't know whether the tag Kikuyu is heavy on his shoulders, and because if you look at Jimmy Wanjigi, you look at Gachagua, and you are wondering, okay, what is going on? One of the questions I'm asking myself most of the time is, should Gachagua not run for presidency? And all Kikuyus go into that little box. The only Kikuyu name they're seeing there is Jimmy Richard Wanjigi.
And you see, that's
I am wondering whether they are going to say, okay, one of us is here. Can Wanjigi get out with 1 million votes, 500,000?
And you see, that's the most powerful card for Jimmy Wanjigi that I still hold right now. If this tribal politics keeps going on, unfortunately, right? The most suited candidate to become the next president in 2032 is going to be a Kikuyu, right?
Yeah.
If this tiki-tiki card of Kalenjin Kikuyu goes on, or Mount Kenya must be the leaders there, right? Who do you think would be best suited to take over that presidential candidacy seat? It has to be Jimmy Wanjigi.
Yeah.
He's at the forefront of being the next Kikuyu
But also
leader.
the problem that Jimmy Wanjigi has always had, a lot of people who talk to me about Jimmy Wanjigi says that he's not Kikuyu enough. He's a bit of a, he's not original Kofi Kikuyu. He's a man who so he lacks that, and he's always, I think, wanted to be a Kenyan more than anything else. He
but
just
he
wants
is a Kenyan.
Yes, but you see now there are people who are not Kenyans first. There are people who are Kikuyus first. Then they are Kenyan second. There are people who are, for example, Sifuna is Kenyan first. You can see that is Kenyan first, then Luya second. You understand? But there are people who are, for example, Rigiji. Rigiji is Kikuyu first, then Kenyan second. Raila Odinga was Luo first, then Kenya second. Yes, largely, and that is why Kikuyus refuse to vote for him in large numbers every electioneering period because of that. I think so. But Jimmy Wanjigi wants to be, I can't say right now that he wants to be a Sifuna. No, because he was there before Sifuna. I think Jimmy Wanjigi is fronting a very interesting thing. That look, we are drowning because of debt. So all of you Kenyans, please wake up. Because whatever is killing us is debt. And that is how Jimmy Wanjigi wants to go and attack this presidential campaign. The problem for me I see is that the technicalities are too big. Okay? And so he has to smurf these things. And although it is technical, but how about the popularity part of it? the sloganeering part of it. Because I don't know whether Kenya is mature enough for the town halls. Because I think you can actually create a hybrid of it. You go to rallies and you go to town halls. You go to rallies and you go to town halls. And then, but then again, I don't know where his armies are. Because when you speak about Linda Wananchi, right?
Yes.
You see Osotsi, okay? You see Babu Owino. You have Orengo. You have Paul Njoroge. You have all of them, all right? But when you speak about when you speak about Wamunyoru Rigiji, there are a huge team of more than 100 people that are behind him. But then when we talk about Safina Party, who are the people behind him? Wamewachia huyu jamaa kila kazi yote. Huyu anafanya.
It's fair enough you give him a chance to.
You see, but Safina Party is Joachim one-man army.
He's doing a good job.
Yes,
that is his individual.
but he's one man army.
Never take it away.
Yes, but
let
one man
him do it.
Yes,
if the party is not ready to also.
But you see, even here,
in fact, we'll take Joachim to Linda Mwananchi. We'll steal him. The moment we have a structure, we'll take Joachim.
You'll take Joachim.
Yes. In fact, you should tell your party leader.
Yeah,
yes.
That you're on your way out, unless
we'll
something substantial is on the table.
There's nothing wrong with that. That is what happens with talent. Whenever you see talent, you have to bring it on board. Even me, when someone calls me on board, they don't call me on board for nothing.
Yeah,
they know there is a certain input you can have.
And when you guys see Joachim, you are feeling that this is the asset we need. This is a proper addition.
We feel that Safina Party is not indulging him enough.
Yeah,
or using him well.
Yeah. So he got a cross, right?
He has to. How can a
presidential... What are you going to give him? He's the SG of Safina Party. What are you going to give him when he crosses?
How can a presidential candidate coming from Bungoma, his village, and he's also friends with Edwin Sifuna, then he says he doesn't want to support Edwin Sifuna? No. He has to shift.
Okay. That is good. That is good.
Now, you are talking about me as if I'm not here.
Because you're not here. There are also other things that were there are also other things. There's the popularity of presidential aspirants by region. Okay, we have by region, William Ruto is overall. Okay, but something very, very interesting with this poll is that William Ruto is leading at the coast. He's also leading in northeastern by a huge margin.
I'm not seeing the
Should I send you a link
of the
whole thing?
The counties. I'm only seeing the general.
Oh, okay. Let me just go to.
Do they have it?
No, I don't think they have it. Just go to infotrackresearch.com and you'll pull it out from there. Just go to infotrackresearch.com and then pull it out from there.
Oh,
you've seen it?
It's loading.
Yeah, you should be able to see it from there. It is interestingly, Ruto is having a huge margin, not a huge margin at the coast, at 33%. He's also leading in northeastern. Okay, northeastern. That is the northern part. The for lack of a better word, the Somaliland. Yeah, and then it's also Kalonzo leads in eastern at 40%, and then William Ruto is actually second to Kalonzo at 19%, followed by Fred Matiang'i. Sifuna is the third in eastern at 7%. Okay, if you go to central, very, very interesting. Very interesting that in central, Kalonzo Musyoka is leading by 13%.
Kalonzo, 13%.
Yes, and then Ruto follows second by 12%. Sifuna comes in at 11%. But Fred Matiang'i is actually the first. Fred Matiang'i leads
19%.
19%.
In Western?
No,
Central.
in Central. You know? So now,
that is outrageous.
Interestingly, Rigathi Gachagua is polling at 12%. Mount Kenya agree that you are not our main man. You understand? That is very interesting. They agree that we are not our main man. Our main man is Matiang'i, Fred Okemo Matiang'i at 19. If you go to Rift Valley, Ruto takes the day, obviously, at 46%. Kalonzo Musyoka, interestingly, is doing 9%. But Sifuna is coming actually second at 12%. Sifuna is coming second. Sifuna has pulled properly across regions. This is why he's gloating a lot. Okay? Because if you go to Western, now William Ruto still tops Sifuna.
At
Interestingly,
35%.
at 35%.
Sifuna
Sifuna
comes
is
at
second at 26%. Fred Okemo Matiang'i is third. If you go to Nyanza, we have Ruto again, for obvious reasons, leading at 40%. And then we have, who is this? The third person here is Fred Matiang'i, for obvious reasons.
Kisii region, right?
Is polling at 17%. Right? But then somebody's at 10th. Edwin Sifuna again is doing really well at 10%. If you go to Nairobi, the math changes completely, and it looks like Ruto is taking the day. But he's neck and neck with the Fred Okemo Matiang'i in Nairobi at 16%, and Ruto at 19%. Sifuna is taking Nairobi again at the third person. So this is very interesting for Sifuna. Babu Wino is very interesting. He comes fourth in Nyanza at 9%. You see that?
Yeah.
So Ruto is leading at 40% in Nyanza, followed by Matiang'i because of the Kisii vote. And then Sifuna is 10%. He's actually tying with Babu at 9%. That is very, very interesting. Okay? So, something very interesting that we have to take away is that President William Ruto leads across both genders and all age groups, with the strongest showing among 46 to 55 years olds. All right? Kalonzo Musyoka is the steadiest challenger, polling 13% among both women and men, picking at 16%. Edwin Sifuna shows the strongest youth appeal at 20% amongst the ages of 18 to 26 old. Okay? The undecided voters are unbelievable. 20% of Kenyans do not know who they are going to vote for.
older cohorts, 24%.
Okay? But something interesting that you should also be very worried about at Linda Mwananchi is that Ruto is still leading with Gen Z votes. Between the ages of 18 to 26 years, Ruto is leading by 28%. Coming closely after him is Edwin Sifuna at 20%. Kalonzo Musyoka pulls third at 13%. If you look at the millennials, at the millennial 27 to 35, right?
Yes.
Right? Ruto leads again in that bracket at 31%. Kalonzo Musyoka, Sifuna is coming second at 14%. Now, if you look at over 55 years, now Ruto shoots completely
To 30?
to 33, and Edwin and Kalonzo Musyoka along in that age bracket is at 16%. So that is the whole thing that is happening there. I think that the opposition has to unite. You see that? All right. So that is what is going on there. Okay. If you go to the preferred running mate for President Ruto in the broad-based government, it's very interesting that Kithure Kindiki is polling at 34%. Gladys Wanga is polling at 11%. Oburu Odinga far below that at 5%. We have Hassan Joho, Anne Waiguru, Musalia Mudavadi, Simbarati, Moses Wetangula all polling at less than 5%. Okay? So those are the things that are happening right now. Preferred candidate in the broad-based government, Kithure Kindiki clearly is ahead of the pack. Running mates most likely to strengthen President Ruto's support. Okay? Kithure Kindiki again comes top at 41%, Gladys Wanga 35%, Hassan Joho 60%. and Musalia Mudavadi at 28%. So this is the whole poll. Some people say that polls are actually paid. I don't know whether this one has been paid, because they have given Ruto a very good. Ruto shines throughout the document. What do you think?
He does not actually shine in a way. 32% is not something to be celebrated.
My biggest
and yes,
my biggest shock there is that Ruto is leading amongst Gen Z across the entire country. That is a bit suspect, don't you think?
They've said he's leading by?
It's leading by a lot. By, I think, 20%?
They've said 20%?
By age. President Ruto leads across both genders and all age groups. Because if you look at Gen Z, he's leading at 28%. And Edwin Sifuna is polling second at 20%.
It might be arguable. It might be arguable because, we've always contested on, what do you define by Gen Zs? Is it just the age group, or is it these vibrant young people that you're seeing in towns, universities, students? And, it's difficult because the same people who are showing up for the rallies for President William Ruto in State House or when he goes to other parts of the country, it is still the same young Gen Zs that we're seeing.
Yeah.
So the definition and, trying to group and say, these are particular Gen Zs, sometimes it is just very difficult. But I don't think the popularity of William Ruto is there amongst young people. That is a very flawed statistics to make. Because if there's one part that he becomes very, very unpopular with, has to be the young people. Unless it is from specific regions whereby the young people are brought together by other factors. Look at Nyanza, maybe the broad-based arrangement. You might have a group of many young Luos who want to support William Ruto because they don't want to be allied with Gachagua. And maybe if you go to Rift Valley, his bedrock of support and his home, there's still maybe Gen Zs who support him. So there is a certain...
Can you put a poll? Do you know how to put a poll? I will try putting a poll there. I'm trying to put a poll, but it's not giving me the opportunity to put a poll.
On YouTube?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, but it's not giving me that. There is ask the question, optional. The last time I put it was very easy to put, but today it's giving me a little bit of a... Because just giving me, ask a question, then yes or no. Okay. I'm just gonna ask.
You put the poll up?
Yeah, I'm trying to do it. I don't know whether it is refusing because I have... some people are saying it is fake polls. Okay, we can go to our main topic today, right?
Yes. And where is Sifuna? These two names.
These two names. You keep.
Waluya bwana.
Okay, and then select poster poll, choose image poll. This thing is refusing because we are live. Sort of refusing completely. Okay, it's refusing. Let's go to our main topic today and talk about it. So, people of the internet, we have got the legality of Kenya's 7 trillion public debt. This is something that Uhuru is actually in court. And that is the question that we wanted to talk about today. And the question that Okiya Omtatah actually is the gentleman that took so many people to court. So we have Okiya Omtatah and 8 others versus Kenyatta and 33 others, people of the internet. So the Kenya High Court is hearing the most consequential public case in country's history. So Busia, Senator Okiya Omtatah, Okoiti, and 8 co-petitioners allege that 6.9 trillion borrowed between financial years of 2014 and 2015 and financial years 2023 and 2024 under Presidents Kenyatta and Ruto was constructed outside Appropriation Act in violation of Article 206, 211, 220, 221, and 228 of the Constitution, and constitutes to what is called, again, odious debt. Something that we've talked about here for a very, very long time. The reason, and the odious debt is actually quoted by the courts, because I think that it is not found anywhere in the Constitution.
For sure.
Right. The other day we were having a serious conversation with Mr. Mundalo Advice, and he was telling me that odious debt is not in the Constitution, and therefore it is not something that should be discussed. But I don't know, something might not be in the Constitution by the same name, but it's actually there.
That is for sure. In fact, you know, most of the people who were solely against the petition of Okiya Omtatah, you know, they want to allude that, you know, the concept of odious debt does not exist or is not grounded in law. And that is quite true. Because even if you look at the major people who are actually supporting the concept of the issue of odious debt, it takes from not even any constitutional court decision. It only takes from a certain principle that was coined by someone, I believe it was called Alexander, somewhere in 1924. But there's no even court around the world that has ever decided or even given precedence on what constitutes or what is the concept of odious debt. But at the same time, when Omtatah was actually filing his case, he was not filing his case on the concept of odious debt. In fact, the issue of odious debt has only been used by him, you know, as a journalistic term.
Okay.
To clearly and, you know, simply show people that what we are actually fighting for is just that debt that was incurred without our consent as the people. So they have to coin it as odious debt. But while you are making the application within the court, we are not even arguing on the issue of consent debt, the issue of odious debt. We are arguing on, you know, judicial, justiciable issues when it comes to the legal process of procuring this debt, whether it was followed. So we are just seeking judicial declaration on certain specific acts that are available in the law, like the Public Finance Management Act, our Constitution, the Appropriation Act. We're just seeking and asking, was this particular legal process followed? So the moment you ask those questions in so many different laws, the Appropriation, the Public Finance Management Act, the Constitution, you know, just so that it doesn't become so broadly technical, you just have to use one simple word of saying, you know, the concept is odious debt. But, you know, I fail to agree with people, even if the concept of odious debt does not exist actually in Kenya. Number one, there is no problem with courts deciding on a new concept that has never been decided before by courts. It happens a lot. There are very new instance cases that are always provided in our judicial system, whereby it has not been decided before. So this is a great opportunity for our court to settle this issue of odious debt, so that you do not wake up one day and say, we have never had a decision on the concept of odious debt. And the courts have been very aware of this. That's why they've been very permissible with this issue of odious debt. So odious debt is now a concept that is now, we have to now face it, now that Okiya Omtatah has presented it quite well.
Yeah, because on the 25th of June, 2026, a 3-bench, Gikonyo, Aburili, and Ado, JJ, dismissed the Attorney General's bid to strike out the petition, holding that the dispute transcends an audit of public debt, and that declining jurisdiction becomes the Auditor General forensic audit is ongoing, would amount to abdication. What is abdication?
Abdication, to take away the authority, to abdicate, abdicate a throne. So abdicate is to take away the authority of someone.
All right. But also the AG has appealed, and with the Treasury CS Mbadi applied on 13th of July to stay all proceeding pending appeal. So the question is then, why is it that they do not want this to be litigated in court? Rather, they want this to be sent back to the Auditor General. Yeah.
Definitely, that is one of the defense that these people are using
Okay.
in this case. And before the case began, what they were actually seeking is to strike out this entire petition.
Yeah.
And if you look and you ask, what were some of the reasons that they wanted to strike out this petition? Number one, they alluded on the doctrine of exhaustion. So the doctrine of exhaustion in law states that, before you even present anything in court, you must make sure that you have followed every administrative process before you come to court. So if there is a body like the CBK or the Auditor General, if they are supposed to be doing an administrative process, you have to follow it with them before first coming to court. So that is the preliminary objection of the state together with CBK and other respondents. They are saying that, these people have to exhaust their means before they come to this court. So they're telling them, why don't you go back to the Auditor General so that he can do an audit trail of the questions that you're presenting in court. But now the problem with the court is this. The court looked at it keenly and saw that, these people are not actually asking for these administrative processes.
Okay.
No. What these people are actually seeking are judicial declaration, which does not need those administrative processes.
Yeah.
What they're just saying is that there was money that was borrowed on this particular day, it was spent on this particular day, and there is a certain law that provides for a specific legal process. Was that legal process followed?
So this is the Appropriation Act.
The Appropriation Act. So what they're seeking is for the court to declare whether it was followed or not followed. So it's just a judicial declaration. And that is why the court saw it fit to agree with them and say, the objection of the respondents to say that, these people have to exhaust their means of appeal before coming to court does not actually stand, because they do not need to go through these institutions.
Yeah.
But also another objection that they had, the respondents, was saying that, this is a political issue, or it's a political question that is pegged on hypothesis or speculation. But the court saw it fit and said that, it is not that way, because our own debt has clear guidelines on how it's supposed to be borrowed.
Okay.
There was debt that was borrowed. We need a trail of what actually happened. So whatever they presented is not speculative or political in a way. So it was just a couple of defenses that these respondents put out to make sure that this case does not proceed to the main trial.
All right. I want to go to Joachim. Joachim, I want to ask you about, there are people that are mentioned here.
Yes.
And I want you to give us the history of these people that are mentioned in this report. Because Uhuru Kenyatta, I think, wanted really to avoid this court case and sort of, retire peacefully. But if you look at the case and the numbers, people of the internet, we are going to give you the entire report that we did at Political Headache right here on the comments so that you can read the story later on your own time, to have a look at the entire report that we put together with Odhiambo Otieno. So there are 9 petitioners led by Senator Omtatah, 22 respondents including Uhuru Kenyatta, and this is what I want you to give me. Why is Uhuru Kenyatta been taken to court together with William Ruto? We also have the AG that has been taken to court. We have Treasury CSs past and present. We have XCS Njuguna Ndung'u, CBK Governor, Auditors General Edward Ouko, Nancy Gathugu, Controllers of Budget Agnes Odhiambo, and Margaret Nyakango, the National Assembly, the Senate, and the IMF. There are also 11 interested parties, including the Law Society of Kenya. But I want you to tell me why Uhuru Kenyatta, William Ruto, the AG, the Treasurer, CS and President Njuguna Ndung'u, CBK Governor, Auditor General are all in this case.
First of all, let me. How do you say it? When a ship wants to fight, it takes some steps back.
Yes, yes. You want to take steps back?
A few steps back, because Samahani, I had an emergency that made me not to step out a little bit.
Yeah.
The recent study that has been done shows that every 97% of scientists and researchers agree with whoever is funding them. So that is in response to the opinion polls.
Oh, you want to go to the opinion poll?
Yeah,
okay, so that is fine.
So 97% of the scientists and researchers agree with whoever that is funding them. So do not belabor this opinion poll. Some of the people appearing are not even going to be on the ballot. So dynamics will be a lot more.
Is that the phone call that you were taking outside there?
No. The phone call was about something else.
Okay, good. Because I have a feeling that they were training you what to come and say about the polls.
Do I need to be trained?
No, I don't think so. But, they wanted to make sure.
No.
Okay, go ahead.
That's classified information.
Okay, that's fine.
So the people listed in this case as respondents have different constitutional duties in making sure that every debt borrowed by government is done by law, according to the law.
Okay.
It's required by law that after every 6 months, the Auditor General has to submit a report about the status of the public debt. That is why Okiya Omtatah went to court. And instead of the Attorney General going to court with because one of the reasons they said in their attempt to curtail the case from going forward, they say that it is the job of identifying whether debt is illegal or illegal is by the Auditor General. But now you need to go to court with the report of the Auditor General and say, no, this is what we have as the government. This is a report by the Auditor General. They do not have it. So in questioning the legality of any debt taken, there are people in government that are, how do I say it? Kizungu inapotea kidogo. That are required to know whether the debt is legal or not.
Yeah.
Now, what's the role of the control of budget? He has to approve every withdrawal, allocation of the money. The report by the Auditor General is to audit every amount of money the government uses. The report by the president, the question of the president as the head of executive, there is a role he has to play. Then who else is there?
There is Ndungu.
There is Ndungu, the CS for Treasury. Because you are in charge of this granary. You are head of the consolidated fund is actually under your watch. So if there is any money, any question about how much came in and how much left, then you have to answer those questions. And there is another person, IMF has also been mentioned. In this case, the IMF, Central CBK governor first. CBK governor, what's the role of a CBK governor in public debt management?
He has so many, according to the Central Bank Act. Number one, he has to craft policy for the central banking. He has to officiate. He has a number of functions, but the number one is for policy, crafting policy that guide the central bank. And also on issue, he's also a signatory of a lot of things.
Yeah.
Either money that is invested by the central bank, money that is received.
Is he a signatory to the withdrawals on the consolidated fund?
I don't think so.
So there are questions that these people have to answer. The reason why we have even IMF here is because it's one of the lenders to our country. So Okiya Omtatah put them here to come and answer questions. If the money in question was actually lent by them or not. And because it has immunity of prosecution, it could be struck out. So when you strike out IMF, it doesn't mean that now the debt becomes legal. So the question, but the biggest reason why there has been attempts of stopping this case from going forward is because this is going to open a very big Pandora's box. The discussions, the countless discussions we've had on this table about whether the debt is legal or not is going to be vindicated, because why is the CS of Treasury and the Attorney General rushing to court to stop the case from being heard? It means that there is something that will come out of that case that is not pleasant to the existing regime, both to President Ruto and President Uhuru Kenyatta. I have maintained on this podcast that you cannot talk about debt and just refer to one president. It has to be the pair of the dynamic duo of Uhuru and William. And therefore, their attempt to stop the case from being heard is to protect themselves, for the people not to know that they are paying for what they did not receive. And that's the biggest problem I have with them.
Yeah, this, I want to go back to Mr. Adrian. Adrian, this question, what Okiya Omtatah is putting before the courts is unbelievably huge. Because Okiya Omtatah is actually, praying to the courts to agree with him that a total pleaded odious or unaccounted borrowing, financial year 2014 to 2015, all the way to the financial year 2023-2024, equal to 7.1 billion. Trillion.
Yes.
Yes, and is asking the court that these people have to explain where that money is. That is huge. And they wanted to strike it down, and the court said, no, we are going to listen to this.
They do not want to explain where the money is because they do not have an explanation. They do not want to explain, but they want the people to keep on carrying the burden of paying those debts. Because if you really took the debt, that can be accounted for. Why should you run to stop the case in court?
Because Okiya Omtatah is saying, Mr. Adrian, that he wants Uhuru to account for 4.6 trillion between the financial year 2014 to 2022.
Yes.
Right? He wants Ruto to account for 2.2 trillion the years 2022 to 2024. And he wants the total borrowed, which is 9 trillion versus 2.5 trillion borrowed versus amounts authorized. So Okiya Omtatah is claiming that of the 9 trillion, only 2.5 trillion underwent the Appropriation Act.
The other day when I was here with a document of estimates of grants and loans, I raised an issue of some figures missing in the appropriations document. So when the parliament passes and approves that document to become the law, it means that they have given the government a blank check of borrowing because you have approved an item with no figures. So when the government goes ahead and publishes, usually the Treasury publishes the statements after every 3 months to show what they have borrowed and what they have not. So if you have approved a document with a blank page, with the blank figures, and then the Treasury publishes a statement 3 months later saying that total domestic assets received is 600 billion. The question is, where did they get the 600 billion? Because the borrowing should only be done according to the vote heads of parliament. So all these borrowings, when the government executes them, they become illegal borrowings.
I want to go to Adrian. Adrian, the judiciary, 3.1, what the 25th June 2026 ruling actually held. What can you explain to us what that ruling was? Because there is the exhaustion there is the ripeness there is the separation of powers there. Because I think we should be able to understand it all the way to 3.2.
You mean 3.1, the judiciary?
Yes.
What happened on June 25th?
Yes.
Yeah, that is
because I think the people of the internet would like to know what exactly happened at the courts.
Yes, you see, before you start any case,
okay,
there is an opportunity for the respondents to always object to the case proceeding to the substantive trial. like the substantive trials now, where you argue on substance according to the evidence that is in case. So there are always issues that you can present preliminary. It might be something like locus standi, whereby you say you guys are suing the wrong person, or maybe this person is not qualified to be sued for this particular case, or maybe the doctrine of exhaustion, like we've talked about here. This person is supposed to be going to this institution before coming before this court. So there's always an opportunity before you file a case for the respondent to object to certain legal grounds as to why you think this case should not proceed or should be struck out, especially for petitions. So what happened particularly in this case, the government became very clever, because the moment you head to trial, it presents, a very big quagmire that will expose the central bank. Because now they have to substantiate most of those questions that Omtatah is asking here, like the paper trail. You'll have to give that paper trail in the substantive hearing for you to...
What is a substantive hearing?
Substantive hearing is whereby now you're arguing on evidence and probabilities, whereby this person presents their evidence. If Omtatah has said that, there is no paper trail, present your paper trail and show that this is how this particular debt was used. So the first objection that CBK, together with respondents like Uhuru Kenyatta, provided is that the petition was frivolous and it was an abuse of the court process. Meaning that the court cannot, it is something that the court is not even supposed to be deciding on. It is an abuse of the court process. The second preliminary objection that they put out is that the court lacked jurisdiction. Meaning the court does not have the power to hear on a certain matter that has not been provided within our own constitution. The issue of the concept of debt, right? Or also on the issue that there is a certain body that is supposed to be doing all this auditing. So they're saying that this court lacks jurisdiction on this matter. So they've also said that, another objection, the third one was that, this is a political determination rather than a legal determination before this court. That there are certain political institutions that are supposed to be deciding on this case before you come here. And another objection that they had is that, you cannot improperly impose personal liability on the former president for them to actually pay all these 6.9 trillion.
So they want Uhuru to keep sleeping in retirement.
So they're saying that it is outrageous for you to, put certain personal liability on these particular respondents that you have put here before. But also, the last objection that they had was on the issue of the doctrine of odious, that they said that doctrine of odious net is not Kenyan law. It has not been decided, so we don't need to actually proceed before this honorable court, despite the fact that Omtatah has not actually used the word odious debt as the major concept while filing this case. Absolutely not. It has only been quoted by media houses, so that concept is easily grasped by most people. Even the court is actually just using the concept of odious debt, but that is not what Omtatah was actually filing for. Omtatah was just filing for, constitutional declaration.
The legality.
And he was pointing out the specific laws that are actually contravened. So the court listened to both cases during the hearing stage, and they came up with a ruling that is on this blog document. So number one, the three most important ones that cut across the objections that I've listed is on the issue of doctrine of exhaustion, the issue of, whether it's a political determination, whether this case is ripe to be before this court, and the issue of separation of powers. So the doctrine of exhaustion, just like I've said, before you come to court, you have to exhaust all your means. If you have been suspended today by a university, the first place you're supposed to be going is appealing to the Senate. So if you did not appeal, I have the power to object before the court and tell this person, please go and appeal to your university first. If you are still suspended, that is the only time you can come to the court. Now that shows that you've exhausted your doctrine, the doctrine of exhaustion. So the court refused and said that, the doctrine of exhaustion that was provided with the Mutinja and Henry case does not apply. Because what these people were actually seeking were constitutional declarations. And if you deeply analyze that, they're just seeking constitutional declarations. They're not seeking for audit that is supposed to be done by the Auditor General. They're not calling the Auditor General and telling them that, please, I want you to audit this. The substance of this petition is to show that while you were actually processing this, while you were auditing this, was this particular law followed? Or while you were withdrawing this, was this particular law followed? And the Auditor General can only support most of these things by providing those hard evidence. Are you seeing it?
Yes.
So there is no need for the court to be sending them back to the Auditor General so that the Auditor General or maybe the CBK or these other institutions can substantiate those things.
Yeah.
It sounds absurd, okay?
Because I don't understand why they are trying to send this whole case to the Auditor General, because the original sin, as per this research, is actually happening in 2014, where Auditor General Ouko found that the debut proceeds were banked offshore. JP Morgan, Federal Reserve of New York, rather than paying it to the Consolidated Fund as Article 206 dictates, require, and that spending of 215 billion could not be directly traced to specific projects. A later 2019 audit reported clear 250 as well used. Right, so I think that is the problem that they are having.
Yes.
Because the Auditor Generals in this country have always complained that they have not seen anything.
Even now, you cannot even say this is the job of the Auditor General when the Auditor General has gone public saying that I am not furnished with enough documentation to even know what's happening. I cannot make a conclusive report saying that this is what happened with the money. So even stopping the court by making stopping the court to make a declaration whether the debts were legally borrowed, the procedure of withdrawal was made legally, where it was allocated was made according to the law. If you attempt to stop that, then you are hiding the presumed activities that could have contravened the same law that we are questioning.
We see the desperation of CS John Mbadi. He swears an affidavit anchoring the stay, publicly insists Kenya will not default and will not stop borrowing. And he says something that is very interesting. He pledges that the forensic audit will be made public. So, chill.
No.
He says chill.
But it's not his first time to say it. When they came up with the 10-point agenda, one of the issues was audit of the public debt. That's more than 2 years ago. Today, the audit report has not been published.
Even as the gentleman finishes, I want you to take us through the central bank's break from ranks, because the central bank also goes before the court. Continue.
So
I just want you to take us through that when Joachim is done. I think it has, number 6.
Yes, number 6.
Number 6 and number 7.
So it's not the first time for CS Mbadi to promise Kenyans that the audit report is going to be published. And I can tell you that it will not be published because the government cannot implicate itself in activities that contravene the law. Because auditing the debt, it means that you have to show us that all of this debt was approved by Parliament and allocated to to projects that we can actually see. In the absence of that, then there will be no forensic report. This thing of saying the forensic report will come is a buy-time strategy, the way they have always done it. So they are just stopping the courts from laying bare the activities they have been doing, and Kenyans knowing that what has been choking them for all this time is actually the debt that we are talking about. This is the biggest problem, and I know they are wondering, and I know John Mbadi is not sleeping, even the Auditor General, because they have to do everything in their power to stop this case from seeing the light of the day. Because if the court makes a declaration and says that actually 7 trillion shillings was taken against the law of Kenya, you can imagine the outrage out here. So it's a big issue. It's not a small thing. That's why they are trying so much to stop it.
I'm going to ask you later on whether our Kenyan judicial system or judiciary, whatever you call it, has the bones, as the spine to stand up to the government and allow this case to be tried properly and publicly. The central bank is also brought in. What do they say?
Yeah, the central bank. You know, the central bank has also been implicated. And, you know, if there's someone that has always been targeted highly in this audience, that definitely has to do with the central bank. And, you know, the reason for this is because they hold a very great power when it comes to the issue of debt. You know, it is the government fiscal agent, and it has to carry the debt registrar. And in fact, one thing that actually strikes me the most, and it's something that I've been seeing, especially on this document, is that, you know, there's a discrepancy in the petition that the Central Bank of Kenya, it records about 10.7 trillion. But that 10.7 trillion is not traceable with the Treasury. What is traceable with the Treasury is only 6.95 trillion. So what do we mean by something that is traceable? Just like I've said, there is no clear paper trail of this 10.79 trillion fully. Only just about 6.95 trillion. So meaning we're missing about 4 trillion that does not have a paper trail. When you mean by paper trail, we mean by how it was borrowed, how it was withdrawn, how it was spent. All this lacks for that amount of money. So the central bank must always coincide with that institution of the Treasury. Why is it that the central bank cannot be able to trace this with the Treasury while it's supposed to be actually the debt registrar for the country? And you see, that was actually the biggest question with this petition, and when it comes to Okiya Omtatah. And you see, that's the reason why they have to strike this petition even before you go to trial. Because if this is one of the grounds that Okiya Omtatah is raising, how else are you going to prove it? You're going to have to provide a paper trail. What if you do not have that paper trail that is supposed to be made public? It becomes an embarrassment. And you know, the moment you provide a paper trail of the debt, people are able to now follow it up on the ground. You know, if you say that this debt was spent on this particular project, people will see and ask, is this particular project worth 20 billion that you have said? Okay, have you paid this amount of money back to the lender? Was this particular process followed now that this debt was used? So that is why it is very difficult for them to allow this particular case to go to the trial or to the argumentative point. That is why, despite the fact that the court decided to strike out that application for the case to be dismissed, they still have to file a stay. They have decided to appeal that ruling to the Court of Appeal. But while they're appealing, they've made an application for stay, which means that the Court of Appeal separately has to argue on whether this court has to continue, so they have to stop this case. So meaning the hearing that was supposed to be scheduled in October, if the court agrees with that stay, it will not continue. So we will not proceed to the stay to the hearing in October if that stay goes through. And I'm seeing that that is actually what will happen. The court will grant the stay for the Mbadi affidavit, and after that, we now do not know when is the next hearing date, or it has to be pushed far away, even past the 2027 election.
There is the issue of number 7, independent officers, and it's very interesting there. There is something that is being said in Article 226, and then there is the presidential immunity of Uhuru Kenyatta, the Auditor General, control of budget. What do you think about these issues?
Before my brother comes in, you know, one of the biggest reasons why these people do not want the paper trail to be followed, because now the government has been borrowing to pay the existing loans, which is against the law. So when you provide a paper trail that say you borrowed 40 billion and used it to pay a pending maturing loan of the same amount or slightly lower, then that plainly contravenes the law. It means that we have broken the law. So it means that the people of Kenya are not actually going to be liable to pay that loan, because you have not done according to what the law says. So it is going to be a very big case, because kuambia watu kwamba wewe ulikopa ukalipa. And I gave you a very good example of saying that our law demands that we only borrow for projects, development. And in our budget this year, we have a 700 billion development budget. But our estimated borrowing projection is 1.1 trillion. So if you are going to spend 700 on development, why is your projection of borrowing 1.1? Because we are saying that you will only borrow to do development. Then it means that we have almost 400 billion that will not be directed to development. It means that this 400 billion will be spent on the recurrent expenditure. Again, the law is against that. So, EcoSEDA.
The independent office and personal liability, Mr. Adrian. Yeah.
Single source. Number what? Number 7.
Number 7, yes.
It's on number 7. Sorry, I'm opening it too.
The president immunity, Article 143.
Article 143.
Yes.
Yeah. I've seen it. Yeah, you know, also that one comes up with a question of, I think the court also needs to decide, because the person who's also being sued, side to side on this case, is William Ruto. So there's two concepts. He's being sued because he was also part of the regime of Uhuru. That is one. Number two, there is also debt that has been taken between 2022 or 2023 up to this current point. So that is also odious. So, you know, the question is, you know, it has always been the legal position that you can never sue a president for any civil act. You know, criminal, maybe there's a caveat, but for any civil act, the president is not liable at that particular point while he's still discharging his duty. And the reason for that is to protect him to rightfully discharge duties, because, you know, civil cases and allegations, sometimes they're very easy to, you know, to come up with. So you don't want to have a president who's constantly being sued in his own personal capacity so that you derail his own responsibility of serving the citizens. That is always the philosophy behind the presidential immunity. But the presidential immunity only runs when the president is in power. So people like Uhuru can be sued here right now, but it has never happened. This is also a first time untested case, just like you've read here. So the also question that the court has to answer, if we are also claiming for personal liability of these people like Ruto, will also Ruto be indulged for the, I believe it's 2.5 trillion, right?
Yeah.
Will he also be involved personally? Or will the court have to invoke, you know, the presidential immunity over Article 143 and decide that, you know, at least let's keep him far away. Maybe we might debate or argue on it after he's out of power. But definitely people like Uhuru can actually be personally liable if the allegations of Omtatah are highly supported by the court.
There is the control of budget, Article 228, and then there is the Auditor General 229.
The control of budget, Nyakongo in office since December 2019 approves consolidated funds. Withdrawals only if certified they are lawful. The petition theory is that the debt service withdrawal for unlawful debt were themselves unlawful approvals. Her predecessors, Odhiambo, confirmed 196.9 billion of the 2014 Eurobond, I believe that was the first one. Proceeds reached the consolidated fund but flagged offshore repayment of 53 billion syndicate loan as an Article 206 of the Constitution breach. Yeah, just like Joachim has said, you know, the control of budget is also, you know, a very critical entity when it comes to, you know, our debt management. And, you know, there are so many allegations that are being provided here, especially this one of Eurobond. I don't know if you remember Eurobond. When Eurobond, there were two conflicting things to do with Eurobond. How much money was lost on Eurobond? The first Eurobond that we took.
We took 2 billion.
2 billion.
Half of it was lost.
Half of it was lost.
2 billion.
So $1 billion was lost.
$1 billion was actually
$1
lost.
billion.
In fact, it was not just lost. It did not even reach the country.
Yeah, you can see where it's living, but where it's going has been redacted. So you can't know which account is that or for what activity. So you can see it leaving JP Morgan and Chase, but you can't see where it's going. Half of the loan was lost.
$1 billion?
Yes, in 2014.
So somebody pocketed $1 billion
Yes.
in 2014?
Yeah, that's why we are
How much is that in Kenya shillings?
At the time, it was how much? The dollar was ranging 119.
That is just so much. $1 billion. Too much money.
So
And somebody just steals it from Kenyans.
Yeah. That's 2014, you can imagine.
Yeah.
So when we seek personal liability, there are grounds for that. Because how do you steal from Kenyans? And imagine that $1 billion has been taken by someone, but it doesn't end there. You have to pay for it. That's why we keep on increasing taxes. And when you ask why, you say, hey, bwana, tuko na madeni. Deni yenye ulikopa ukachukua, ukaweka kwa mfuko.
Imagine fathom 1 billion.
But you see, sometimes it does not make real sense when you have a look at it, and you see that in 2026, we lost 1 billion Kenya shillings, $1 billion, equivalent of a lot in Kenya shillings, and nobody has ever explained to Kenyans. And something that I also don't understand is that Kenyans appear largely to accept that happened, and there is nothing they can do about it.
It's because they don't know what that is. 96% of Kenyans do not earn more than 100 shillings. So when you tell them $1 billion, what are you talking about?
They can't conceptualize.
Yeah, if the most amount of money you've seen is 50,000, then somebody tells you the government has stolen $1 billion. So how do you even get angry about something you are not sure what it is? That's where they have been hiding.
Yeah.
So what we've been trying to do, especially at Safina, is to try to jog the brains of Kenyans.
That is 130 billion.
Yes.
130 billion
in Kenyan money. So
then who took it?
The people listed in this case. I have always told you,
but
even before.
What do you do with the billion Kenya shillings? Suppose even 10 people in government took it. So that is Northlands.
That's Northlands. That's Expressway. That's so many things. That's Tattoo City. Who is building Tattoo City?
Oh my God.
That's Konsa. Who is it? That's why the people are complaining about the economy. Then you see someone doing things that are out of this world.
Like somebody building a whole country.
Yes.
In Northlands. Yes. Like he's building a whole country. He's building several universities and several markets, and he's building 3,000.
A city of his own.
A city of his own.
The motivation for stealing has always been one, not to get rich. They are filthy rich, wealthy. So stealing is not about getting rich. It's about control. I stop you from earning it so that I can control. So when I have a city and you're working there, I am your God, I am the king. You buy from my supermarket, you earn from my companies, you use my transport system. So I have an empire. It's about it. That's why I keep on saying that the stealing emanates from the system put up in this country of extraction, exploitation, and dominance. So how do you dominate people? By making sure that you are the one who knows where their drinking water comes from.
And do you know how much Northland City costs?
No, 500 billion.
City, exactly. Northland City costs 500 billion. That is about $4 billion. And ask yourself, where can an individual in Kenya get $4 billion? Even the Kenyatta family, even the entire wealth that they've amassed since Jomo Kenyatta, $4 billion is a lot of money.
There is another guy here.
That is why they can confidently steal Eurobond and steal almost half of it, $1 billion, and you don't see it. There's still that $1 billion, still another $1 billion from another law, still another $1 billion. And at the end of the regime, they have $4 billion to build an entire city. There is no city that you can build with even less than $1 billion. And they come out so openly and they tell people that we are building a very amazing project of Northland, so openly. And Kenyans are very comfortable with the fact that Uhuru Kenyatta is building a 500 billion city. But we cannot question these people and ask them where are they getting this money from. We're just silent about it.
That is why this gentleman wants to go and take it by force.
It's true. In fact, there are a lot of people who are wondering when Okiya Omtatah is suing Uhuru Kenyatta and they're saying, where will Uhuru Kenyatta get 6.9 trillion? Will he get that money? Those people have so much wealth that you cannot even fathom.
Kwani alichukua akapeleka wapi? Ndio uulize atapata wapi. You see, the danger, I have just told you, 96% of Kenyans earn less than 100,000. Then now an individual is building a city. So imagine half of 96 getting angry and coming for the city. Not even half, quarter of the 96%.
You'll bring it back
That's
to Kenyans.
10 million, almost 10 million Kenyans waking up and coming to your direction. How many do you kill? No, 10 million people are coming. Do you shoot them? Let's say you send all the police there. Every police will be dealing with how many people?
Or you just have a confident president who is able to, execute the decision of the court.
Yes.
If the court agrees with Okiya Omtatah and they say, Uhuru Kenyatta has to pay us 6.9 trillion in odious debt, what happens? We take that Northland city because it is 500 billion shillings. We look for another farm. Maybe he wants a farm that is more than even 60 billion. We take that farm. If there is a land acres, I see they have land that is bigger than Nyanza. We take that land. That is the concept of recovery. And I don't know why Kenyans are never ready about that discussion.
No, it's because they have not felt the pain enough.
Absolutely.
When I see people discussing out there, I'm like, okay. So you've not suffered enough.
Do you know the Chinese government? You could go from $1 billion to zero
And
the moment you are accused of corruption. They take everything. Everything.
This issue of debt is not a small thing. You can imagine the magnitude. Just listen to what we are talking about. So imagine you are a judge.
Yes.
Going to make a ruling that has such kind of implications. So when you make a ruling and say, actually Kenyatta is personally liable, what are you saying?
That is a judgment.
What are you saying?
Yes. Which neighborhood are you going to live in?
You make the decision and you pack up.
Where do you go? When you go to Cayman's Island, you are most likely to live on his property.
Yes, he has
To sleep on Uhuru.
You have to now go to a property that you know is not owned by an African, which is through proxy, so you can't really know. This is a big thing, that the wealth of Kenya is in a very few hands. That's why when the report was published, that 145 Kenyans own more than the rest of Kenyans. They have more wealth than the remaining number.
145.
Yes, that's less than 1% of Kenyan population.
It's actually 0.000 something.
Yes. So when we talk about wealth of the country,
let's have a look at it and ask, what does that exactly mean?
yes.
What is the question? At 145,
Yes. Kenyans own more than the rest of Kenyans.
on more than the rest of Kenyans.
That
Kenyans combined.
that's the report. It was published at.
What is the question we're asking? What is the what is the percentage?
Yes. What's the percentage of the population that owns almost what we have?
What is the percentage of the 145? Right?
The percentage, 145 people is what percent of the total Kenyan population?
Yes. Okay. That is calling it a super rich group.
Those are.
It is 0.0002%.
They are owning more than 99 point something. So wewe uko hapa nje umenunua Mercedes moja ya E350. You think you can tell anything, these people anything. They can literally make you get lost and you will never be found. Some people see us as their subjects. We are not even Kenyans. You are a citizen. Citizen manade. Where you are a subject. You are supposed to even kneel when that person shows up.
And you know, for them, money is not just about money. For them, money is about power.
Power.
That is why while people are sitting here arguing who will be the next president, for them, they're very comfortable meeting in their golf clubs or maybe in secret rooms, and they're saying, how do you see this person? Can we work with this person? Can we kill this person?
Can we work with this person? Can we kill this person?
Can we fund this person?
This looks like we can work with.
We can work with.
It means you can be compromised.
Yeah.
And you see what they do is what they did to Fikirini. Fikirini was a very abrasive young man. And what they did to Gabriel Oguda. So you are very noisy on the streets, and they are like, okay, what could be the problem?
He doesn't have a house. We can see doesn't have a good car.
Anaishi huko.
Watoto yake hawasomi mahali ya kusema.
Anaishi Dagoretti Corner.
Okay. Kazi.
Move him to the older Lavington. Mahali ya kujamea nyumba mrefu.
I mentioned it.
You are given your house. Unaambiwa unapewa nyumba. When you look next, unaambiwa Uhuru Kenyatta anaishi pale. You are like, ni mimi niko hapa. Then parking lot yako, all of a sudden you can't explain the vehicle you are driving. So you can no longer say they will not believe. You cannot.
Who used to say they will not believe?
Gabriel Oguda. I always say, because akija sema tu they will not believe. Na wanamutumia number plate ya gari ya Ledes. Na guy. It's about control.
You keep talking about Gabriel Oguda. How abrasive was he?
Gabriel Oguda was the most influential person.
2024.
Hii ya sufuria.
Gabriel Oguda. Wachana na yo. Gen Z 2024.
There was a time Gabriel Oguda was the most influential person on X, more than Cyprian Yakundi. In fact, he went from 300,000 to 1 million followers during that tenure of Azimio and post Ruto's election a little bit, even though he was silent. Gabriel Oguda was the most influential person. He was big. And he was injecting more than any other individual.
Really?
Yes.
Daily. Consistently.
And what became of him?
No, you are given the test of the soup.
Test of power.
He was given soup.
Yeah.
Gabriel Oguda was just
another guy,
a journalist at Standard. And Standard does not even pay good. Especially for people
they do not actually pay at all.
Or they don't even pay at all. The moment you call this person and tell them, I like what you're doing on X, come here, work at this ministry.
Sometimes I look at Kenyans, and you saw it's very tiring when you know these things. That you can look at Kenyans discussing politics, and you are like, do they really know what they are saying?
Yeah.
It's not about being an expert, no. Knowing what really happens behind that curtain. That the politics we see of the slogans on the road is a front page. Ulisikia swali yenye Atoli aliuliza jana?
Sikusikia. Alisema nini? Alisema nini?
Alisema, where are you going to get 10 billion to campaign? Because ukweli, where are you going to get it? It's from them. Where do you get 10 billion today? Ita mchango pale upate tuone utapata ngapi.
Wapi?
If you are going to get 200 million. Atumeweka mchango hapo. If you are going to get 200 million, one of them must have attended that fundraiser. One of them.
One of the 145?
Yes. Otherwise,
to get 200 million.
I attended a wedding. No, it was a sio mbali ni hapa. Apple Saints. So I was attending a fundraiser for a wedding of a friend. I didn't know this friend comes from where. Then one lady stands up and says, I'm sorry, I got this information about the wedding of my son here,
on a short notice. I hope you will forgive me for the small I have come with. I've just brought 3 million, and I hope I will still run around and get some more to add before the wedding happens. Mimi your time nina imagine 3 million.
Unataka kununua nini?
And this lady is apologizing profusely for donating 3 million in a wedding.
Yeah. Maua ni ngapi?
I'm like,
maua ni ngapi?
And Jagero, there is no unsettling debate like the debate of money like the one we are having here. Unaona hiyo tulikuwa tunapiga kelele hapa juzi.
Gani hiyo?
Ile tulikuwa na maisha hapa. That's nothing. To them, ati unapiga kelele unasema Ruto must go. Oh my goodness. They are used to it. Tumeimba Moi, sijui nini. They are used to it. Provided you change an individual and the system remains the same, they are good.
You change an individual and the system remains
the same.
You are gonna come, you're gonna live in State House, you're not gonna ask questions, you're not gonna touch Northlands, you will not touch our shamba, you will not touch our yachts, you will not touch anything.
Yes.
Fine.
You can be president.
And they will support both sides.
Yeah. But unaangalia story ya pesa. Like we are talking about 2.4 million Kenyans are going to fall into poverty this year. And the report says they will not be able to spend more than 300 shillings in a day. So a person
Which report is that?
The World Bank
Party report.
No, from World Bank.
It's from World Bank.
Which report is that?
Wanahuna.
Just Google the World Bank report.
On Kenya?
Yes.
It's the latest
report.
Really? We should also talk about that, right?
Because...
What is the report? World Bank?
World Bank report on Kenyans more likely to fall into poverty by the end of this year. That is 2.4 million Kenyans. And the report is very precise that they will not be able to spend more than 300 shillings. So that's why...
How many Kenyans? The World Bank predicts that 2.4 million Kenyans risk falling below the international poverty line.
Yes.
By 2026. Okay? And what is listed here is urban vulnerability. While historically rural areas carried the heaviest poverty burden, Kibera, Korogosho, Githurai are now driving rapid poverty expansion across major urban cities. Skyrocketing inflation, worsening global factors.
Do you know that siku hizi maskini wa ushago anadharau maskini wa town?
Willy, bwana town ni mbaya.
Maskini ya town has no one level of dignity. Because look at where you are staying.
How bad is it? How bad is it?
Maskini ya town, it means that you live besides a river.
Okay.
Which is carrying waste from factories.
Okay.
Mutaro inapita kwako imebeba sewage.
Okay.
And you are living in a mabati shanty.
Okay.
You have no luxury of enjoying the fantasy sport with your wife without your children knowing.
Muluya na kick mabati kabisa. You know, I used to live in a house 10 by 10 in Kawangware. And so, this lawyer man used to kick mabati at night. Have you ever had audio porn? So audio porn, my brother, for almost a year. And you know, for something about that lawyer, a friend of mine.
Yes.
He was my neighbor. Yes. He had 5 children, all under 10 years.
Yes. So when I tell you that,
and I kept wondering, he's kicking Mabati, the woman is wailing. And where are these kids, bro?
They're there. They have learned how to numb their hearing. So poverty in the village is a lot better.
Yeah.
Because your neighbor is there, you can have some secrets.
Because in the village, we used to leave my mother's house, and then we'll go and sleep in my grandfather's agula.
So your parents can afford to have some secrets that you are not privy to. So this discussion about leadership of the country, it is much deeper. That's why in most cases you find us, we are like, after the noise in a rally, what are you really looking for? When I leave Raila Odinga's rally, unga imepanda, and I go home, what really is the question that has made unga ipande? Look here, when the economy is biting and people are on survival mode, who benefits? What's the effect of shortage of circulation of money on the lives of the people? It means that if I was planning to buy land, I will stop because I have to feed myself. So tunasema waja tusinunue shamba to survive kwanza, mambo ikikuwa mzuri tutanunua shamba. So the people with the money, at the time the economy is bad, they can buy assets cheaply because demand is low. People have no money. So you can buy a plot cheaply, you can buy a car, you can buy a house. Then when the economy stabilizes and people start getting money, that person who is rich sells you that plot 3 times the price he bought. So the margin keeps on expanding. The discussion of money is so unsettling to these people. So when you go to court like Omtatah, and you are saying, we are asking the question about 7 trillion shillings. They are wondering, what can we give Omtatah? Omtatah, ni nini ananga? Tumpatie hii manena wache. But it comes, everything has an end. That an empire as big as Rome fell. So there is no empire that will live forever. So someone like Omtatah, they come once in a lifetime to completely cut off some systems. The election of 2027 is deeper than people are saying, because it seeks to cut off this extractive system and set in a system that can actually work for the most vulnerable Kenyan, who cannot afford education, who cannot afford good health care. But if we are going to just change an individual at the top and perpetuate this system, we will come back here in 2029 and say, the one who is there is worse than the one who was there. Because now, I asked you a question. Juzi tulipiga kelele kwa sababu ya finance bill yenye ilikuwa ina raise pesa ngapi? 120 billion. Ndio? With a budget of how much? 4.8 trillion. And we made noise. Projection of revenue is 2.8 trillion. It's unbearable to us. We can't raise it. And we are against Ruto. Sindio? So we succeeded to send Ruto home in 2027. And we celebrate a lot. Then the first finance bill of 2027-2028 comes in and proposes to raise 350 billion. People are like, eh? Alafu you look at the budget, it's not 4.8 trillion, it's 5.3. Revenue projection, because of the Sumeona report inasema people are falling into poverty. So we can't even raise 3 trillion. What do you think will happen to us?
But now the problem is this. For you to change most of these things, it requires a very radical step towards it.
I agree.
That is why you see this group of billionaires or these oligarchs in any form of a country. One of the things that they're always very afraid of are things such as revolutions.
Yeah.
That one day somebody wakes up and leads 50 million Kenyans who collectively, without opposing, agree that we need to change this
because
system.
How many were the Gen Z in the streets?
Not
Were they even 100,000?
Gen Z.
The ones that almost defaced parliament. Was it about even 100,000?
The day they went to parliament?
Yeah.
We were almost a million.
It was many, so many.
Every road
so
was...
many.
We were
Everyone
almost
was
a million.
packed up. In fact, everyone was heading to town. It was very easy to get to town. Everybody was
Because
in town.
those
There were
people
a lot
that
of
went
people.
to town, this same report says that 800,000 young Kenyans entering the job market, a staggering 700,000 are forced into the vulnerable informal sector. Because only 100,000 secure formal jobs. Can I tell you something, brother? That this small podcast that you see here, the amount of young people that call me and write to me every day to be employed here is unbelievable. And if you look at the amount of mass communication and mass communicators and journalists or students that are taking mass communication and journalism that are leaving universities, and we have the media completely flat on its face. The only media that is working right now, the legacy media, is Citizen. The other ones have collapsed. Standard has collapsed, even though with their headline, but there is nothing there. K24 has collapsed. All right? KBC, I don't even know what they're doing anymore.
They just have a lot of GSU there. I don't know why.
You see, all these boys, they have been sent to me by their parents. Onyesha hawa. You know?
So,
like I hear that there is about 1,000 people, having a beeline at the Citizen to be given internship. More than 1,000.
That is even less.
To just to wear that.
There are so many,
so many.
To just wear that tag, that Royal Media.
Royal Media.
Yes. You see, we are not talking about these things enough, and it doesn't matter how powerful the oligarchs are. The center is no longer holding. You see, at some point in 2017, a discussion such as this was nowhere. We were just asking a question, is Raila going to win?
Yeah.
That's the only question. The discussion about money, how much lives here and goes where, how much have you spent, look at the public debt, it was nowhere. But now, the questions are, after every year, how many young people join the job market?
They're not joining. How can you claim that in 2026 only 100,000 can secure formal jobs?
Yes.
100,000.
And you think you can now just cure the issue of goons? How do you cure it? It's about survival. Those goons know that they are doing something bad. But how do they live without doing it?
But even when the president is always giving us videos of him in his farm, we also know that there was the brutal drought of last year contracted Kenya's agricultural value-added sector by almost 2%.
Yes.
Okay? Then elevated public debt remains suffocatingly high at 70% of our GDP, meaning interest payments devour more than a third of all government revenue, leaving minimal resources society nets. But then Uburu has 10 million every weekend.
Yes.
Where is Uburu getting 10 million every weekend? I hear the president has given 100 million in a week.
So you need to give Uburu that money so that he manages the most possible backlash of the young people. So you are trying to stop a flood by erecting a wall. and you have to build it so quickly. I'm sure President Ruto is hoping that things will not get very bad when he's in power. Things will get bad when someone else is in power, and he will not feel.
When the lead is taken off, he will be out of the room. When
yes. I can tell you personally, wherever William Ruto is, anajua hawezi hata ambia kina Ishungwa. Lakini akisikia ameanguka, ataambia Mama Rachel, iko sawa. Kama tumeanguka ni vizuri. Hizi mashida mingi. Hizi mashida hizi. Wacha tuwachie wengine.
Do you think the river has broken its banks?
Yes.
And the water is coming out in the streets
very fast. So Mimi, I get so, how do I even say it? Sometimes it gets very hopeless. Because you look at how things are. Sometimes I just take a motorbike and I go through the vitongoji duni, you look at life people are living.
What is the meaning of duni in Swahili? Duni means what?
Duni ni
lowly.
Low. Yani wewe hauishi maisha. Yani maana ya duni. Una fikra duni, fikra mbaya.
Fikra duni.
una maisha duni, elimu duni.
Kitongoji ni neighborhood.
Vitongoji ni
kitongoji duni.
Yes. So you go there and you look at the people.
There are some names you use, brother. They are pretty awful.
So you look at people and you're like, where? On a school day, children are just in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And we think it's just normal. We will come in, play abracadabra with how tunadhani tunaweza ingia na tukue na grace yenye Anne Waiguru alikuwa nayo wakati wa NYS 1, NYS 2. For us, that grace will not be there. Because Anne Waiguru, can you imagine? It was very noisy. And Anne Waiguru only stole 769 million. NYS 1.
Barely a billion.
Barely a billion. Sahi, unasikia governor mmoja ameiba 4 billion.
In the Senate committee unasikia 600 million cannot be accounted.
Yes, and no, unasikia tu swali inatoka huko kwa Chararege. Ati governor, can you tell us
where? Can you account for this 600 million?
600 million, we can't see it.
We can't see it, but we will substantiate.
Yeah, can you substantiate? We hope that when you come back next time, you will come with the substantiation of where is the 600 million.
Anasema wameniacha niende.
Anaona when you come back next time, anasema alafu nasikia Kajwang. Anasema governor, will you do that next sitting? Sema yes, chair. Yes, chair.
Nasema it is my financial manager who was writing these things.
And then wanakatiwa maziwa. Wanakatiwa maziwa?
Si ndio kwani.
Hatuwezi jua, but the point is that nothing happens.
Nothing happened. So
the governor goes back and say tunaweza okota ngapi? Let's find some 300 million. Ni wangapi kwa committee?
For me, I even say that.
Ni wangapi kwa committee?
For me, I usually say if those committees were actually really, really genuine, those people steal a lot of money. In fact, just one sitting of one governor, I think, can actually cause a demonstration in this entire country. If you were truly honest, you audit a governor in a Senate committee sitting, seriously, and you say that, please account for this, how much of this money. Trust me, there is a lot of money. In fact, I always feel like that.
But then at what point do they catch up with the governor later in the shadow of darkness to tell him, look, we can always agree on these things?
There are channels.
Actually, that one happens.
There are channels. I imagine that they are brokers.
You see,
I imagine they are brokers.
You see, in such a meeting, you see someone who does not have a very substantive position, but he's in that meeting. And when the meeting is over, that person does not leave, but he came with the governor. Anabaki hapo kufanya nini?
Say that again. Sometimes you meet person.
So you are the governor, you have come to the committee.
Okay.
You cannot substantiate where you took 600 million. But one member of your staff is in this meeting, but he is not even being asked questions. And after the meeting, the governor leaves, and the member of the staff remains behind with the senators or members of parliament. Why is he behind? To do what? Kuna mahali nilikuwa nikaambiwa huyu kijana ni mjinga sana.
Kijana mgani?
Sifuni. Hawezi mwambia kitu aelewe.
Aelewe?
Huyu angekuwa na nyumba mingi hapa Kilimani. Okay. So nikachangia pia mimi nikasema huyo huwezi muita kwa deal atasema.
anapiga kelele, piga domo. No wonder he doesn't have money to
wakati nilikuwa hapo katika senator kulikuwa na senator mmoja hapo amekuja tu na anajaribu kuniongelesha mimi.
Hiyo story nilisikia
CJs.
Hapa tu. Huyo hapana. Huyo hapana.
But for me, I know they do take money.
Yeah.
And that is why when they take the money, they don't take the money so that they don't fully audit them. So that they can just mention a few things that the governor can actually be accountable. But at the same time, it creates a certain image on the public that these people are actually holding them accountable and asking them questions. I'm quite sure the amount of money that most of these senators are questioning these governors are things that these governors can actually substantiate. But the real deal of the corruption that is going on in counties, they will not ask those
because
questions.
if they are given 12 billion and you can only see 3 billion they have used.
So Malombe, the other day I told Malombe is given 8 billion.
8 billion.
8.
Huko kiangazi.
Was it 8? Yes. Na akatumia 2.1 in his office.
2.1 billion. Chai na mandazi.
And when he was asked, how did you actually spend 2.1 in your office? He didn't answer. Actually, the newspaper reported that he couldn't pick calls and he did not respond to questions to tell people how he spent 2.1.
Who was asking you?
Reporters were standard. Unakumbuka kuna time the Auditor General's report that told us Wavinya Ndeti had spent 200.
Are we going to take a few calls?
Wavinya Ndeti had spent 244 billion on his office. Wanga had spent around 700.
Yeah, with the new.
Yeah, with the
governor's palace.
You ni palace too. Sio chaya uja count.
Palace too near billions. I don't know how much was it. It was $1 billion or something, right?
So ukitoka road Kopanyi ukiingia
oh my god.
Homa Bay.
Spending money.
The road.
Nilikuwa naingia huko nikashanga hii ni ila Homa Bay nasikianga.
You ni the great county of Kosovo. Cheza unapigwa. Ukicheza unapigwa.
Nilikuwa nimebebwa na Japiko.
Ulikuwa umebebwa na Japiko?
So nikashuka.
People of the internet, you can call us maybe 2-3 calls and then we can call tonight. Our phone line is now open. Yeah, go ahead.
Japiko nikampatia 1,000. 1,000. Kwani wewe ni nani?
Wanataka 1,000 for what?
No, anasema in a day he makes 600 shillings. Na mimi trip moja nimempatia 1,000.
Ulikuwa unaenda wapi?
Nilikuwa naenda shughuli za Halambe Halumbe.
Halambe Halumbe.
Kusuluhisha migogoro ya ardhi.
Migogoro ya ardhi?
Yes.
Migogoro ya ardhi? Homa Bay? My goodness.
Shughuli za mtemi na saba bora.
Unaelewa Kiswahili bwana. Sisi hatuku Kiswahili si mdomo chetu.
You know where Ken Walibora comes from? It's just a stone throw distance from where I come from.
Oh, Ken Walibora.
Yes. Ken Waliaula
Walibora.
That guy bwana. Na akakufa kifo ya ujinga eti amegongwa na double M hapa Mudhuru hapa.
Alikuwa anaandika nini?
Ameandika Kidagaa Kimemwozea.
Yes, I know that one. Siku Njema is my favorite.
Ameandika Damu Nyeusi.
Damu Nyeusi?
Yes. Ameandika Kanda la Usufi.
Yes.
Ameandika.
You know all those things?
Yeah. Hata sijui kama ameandika Mzizi na Matawi, something like that. Mzizi na Matawi. Mwana wa Darubini.
What was your favorite? Is it Kenwali? Is it Siku Njema?
Those two books, Kidagaa and Siku Njema.
Kidagaa.
Bwana. Because in Siku Njema kuna Mtemi Bokono. Kidagaa iko na Mtemi na saba bora. Siku Njema iko na mtu anaitwa
Mzee kazi kwisha.
Mzee kazi kwisha.
Pande hii ya Kidagaa kuna.
But it was very Swahili leaning.
Yes.
What was, because his scenes were sort of in Tanzania. How come?
I'm told the mother is from there.
Oh, is that so?
Yes, that's what I know. That's what I'm told. I don't know where.
That book is soulful.
Bwana. Kwa siku njema kuna kijana anaitwa Kongowea Mswahili.
Kongowea Mswahili.
Alafu Kidagaa iko na amani na imani. Kuna mzee Matuko Weye.
What? You know those things so much, bwana.
Kuna mwalimu anaitwa Mwalimu Majisifu Maji Marefu.
Majisifu Maji Marefu. Siku njema huonekana asubuhi.
Yes.
Kila jua linapochomoza ni fursa nyingine ya kuanza upya. Okay, let's end this podcast now. Sindio?
There are no calls?
No. Sometimes this phone call just doesn't work. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sometimes it just freezes, doesn't work. So we have done what we needed to do today. I really loved it. A lot of people have appreciated it. And I want to thank them very much because we have maintained our number all the way. Yes. Kazi mzuri, guys, keep it up. Andrew is saying that Sifuna is Uhuru Kenyatta subject. Ni mbaya sana. Okay? Mafande stories za Sifuna ya Uhuru tumesikia sana. Hamna nyingine. Sisi hatujasikia, tujaongea mambo ya Uhuru Kenyatta.
Sisi tumekuwa tukiprosecute a very important topic.
Yeah.
So we don't know where Uhuru Kenyatta and Sifuna are coming.
Somebody saying that Jageru sounds very ignorant today. Of course I'm ignorant on the issues of law. Yeah. That is why I bring lawyers and storytellers.
And
like
you can't know. You can't be.
I can't know everything.
An authority in everything.
Yeah. So people of the internet, thank you very much. Today we are closing this podcast as the highest number. About 700 people still with us watching.
Very nice. Today.
We want to thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. Joaquim, thank you very much for always being here with me. TikTok lawyer, thank you very much. We wish you the best. Are you getting married soon? No?
What type of question is that?
I mean,
why are you guys forcing me to get married?
Yeah.
I'm not even in the preferred age
a strong
of marriage.
man like you needs marriage. We can give you a woman. I've got some American women who are always on the sidelines. Do you want one?
The viewers, I know they're viewing right now.
They would like a young TikTok lawyer like yourself.
Kuna mtu amekumbuka hapa one character in Kidagaa. Kuna DJ pia. Yes.
DJ, yes.
Kuna Bob DJ.
Bob DJ.
DJ na Bob.
DJ na Bob.
Yes.
Yeah.
Walikuwa wanaogelea, fahali mmoja akatafuna kinyasa cha DJ.
Fahali moja akatafuna kinyasa cha DJ.
Yeah, fahali ni Abul.
Yes, fahali ni Abul, yes. That one I know.
I thought it's a crocodile. Ndio nikakumbuka ni mamba. Jinasikia tu maji.
Mjalule Kiswahili ngumu sana. Mjalule Kiswahili you know, I think Swahili is Bantu. I don't know. It is really heavy on the tongue.
Yeah.
It's very heavy on the tongue.
Kuna Kiswahili kinaitwa Kiswahili chenye asili ya Kibantu.
Kiswahili chenye asili ya Kibantu. Meaning
I've heard about that.
Kuna
na hii ya Tanzania ni ndio asili ya Kibantu.
Kuna Kiswahili mara 4. Kuna asili ya Kiarabu.
The Swahili one.
Yes. Kuna asili ya Kibantu. Na kuna 2. Kuna ile inaongelewa Tanzania na Congo. It's different. So, when you are speaking Swahili, you know what you are saying. For us, huyu anasema Swahili originated from Congo. Really?
Congo has got very bad Swahili. Odhiambo will say anything. If he can't speak it, how can you know where it's coming from?
Swahili is a mixture of Arab and Portuguese.
Oh, is that so?
Yes, that's where the tribe Swahili comes from. So it's on the coast of Mombasa, not Congo.
But Odhiambo, I tell you, will say anything.
So hii maneno ati Ken Walibora aliandika tumbo lisiloshiba. Hapana wewe wacha uongo. Huyo si Faruk Topan?
No, it's Ken.
Tumbo?
Yeah.
Angalia bwana.
And how comes you've read Tumbo Lisiloshiba and it's our year?
No, I have read all the books. Every book that comes in the market, it doesn't matter Swahili or English. Yeah.
I used to love Swahili a lot when I was in primary and secondary, but then at some point I decided to put a lot of effort in English books and so on. And I really regret, because at some point I was very good in Swahili. Even in India, I was very good at it. The problem is always speaking it.
Mimi, in English creative writing, I can boast on this podcast that from the school I came from, no one has ever beat my record.
Oh,
in English?
Sayyid Ahmed Mohammed.
Yes, Sayyid Mohammed. The language is not Ken.
Yeah, but how does PLO it speaks Swahili in a very funny way? I mean, is it the English, the new tongue to do the
PLO is good with English.
With English?
Maybe creative writing in school. Oh my God.
All right, we need to end this podcast because now we are just chit-chatting. People of the internet, thank you very much. It's always a pleasure. Until another episode, bye for now. All right, people of the internet, I hope that you're enjoying this episode very much. And I just had a break to tell you about my new book. Everybody says that there is no job, and that is true. Also, that was me 10 years ago. The problem is that everybody is trying to get a job in their town, in their city, in their marketplace. They ask friends for jobs, mothers call uncles, uncles call brothers, but there are no jobs. Let me tell you what no one is telling you. Jobs migrated online. What I actually mean is there are many, many jobs around the world, and there is no one to do them except you. I work for Americans myself. I work for Europeans. I work for the Chinese. I work for the Australians. I work for the Canadians. And so, because I have done so much for myself, I said to myself, you know what? I should compile what I've been doing for the last 15 years. So in 2024, I wrote a digital book called Goldmine 18 Hustles for Africans. And then in 2025, AI came. People say AI is taking away our jobs. And for me, I'm going to say false. There are actually AI jobs. Jobs are not being taken by AI, but there are new jobs online that are there because of AI. Now, mimi ni nani? I created more jobs. And for now, in my new book, we have 25 online and offline jobs that you can leverage on if you do not have a job. So in this powerful volume 2, I share 25 new actionable online hustles specifically researched and tailored for Africans. My new book provides clear step-by-step guidance drawing from my extensive experience and research, including the mistakes I've made and lessons I've learned over the 15 years that I have worked online. So what can you do online? You can become an executive assistant for busy folks in Europe, America, Canada, and get paid for tasks like watching videos and taking online surveys. Okay? You can build a lot of things, build a business as a virtual assistant, start an e-commerce shop without